Hey, Steelers fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome to our Pittsburgh Steelers news and rumors video here on a Wednesday. Carson Wentz potentially being the next quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do you think about that? Before we jump into the news, which includes Carson Wentz, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We have plenty of great Steeler content. We've been growing at an incredible rate here, approaching 9,000 subscribers on the channel, 10,000 subscribers, hopefully. We're trying to give you guys the best one-stop shop for all your Pittsburgh Steelers news and rumors. If you like the channel, you like that format, 10 minutes in and out, go down below and hit the subscribe button. Plenty of draft coverage also coming up next couple of days and weeks, and in today's video as well, so subscribe for that. All right, let's start today's Steelers news rumor video with the Carson Wentz drama and a really interesting write-up by USA Today talking about how Wentz and the Steelers could be a really good marriage at the quarterback spot. So, if you don't have Twitter, you live underneath a rock, you haven't been, you've been hiking in Yosemite National Park and have had no service for the past couple of days, you did not see the report from ESPN mentioning that the Colts are planning on potentially cutting or trading Carson Wentz next month. That is at the start of the new league year. You remember, of course, the Steelers, actively searching for their quarterback of the future, and so when a quarterback becomes available, we obviously go ahead and kind of think about what are the Steelers and Carson Wentz and pair them together. Wentz, as we're going to see, could be a cheap and honestly very productive quarterback who I think got a bad rap due to what happened at the latter part of the year, but if you overall look at his season, wasn't necessarily as bad as some people are saying. So, here is USA Today's write-up on Carson Wentz. Throw that up on your screen, a little long, bear with me. Quote, the latest quarterback scuttlebutt is that the Indianapolis Colts are looking to trade or release quarterback Carson Wentz prior to March 19th. This is when $7 million of his $22 million base salary for 2022 would be guaranteed. There are two ways to look at this. If the Steelers trade for Wentz, his cost by comparison to even a player like Jimmy Garoppolo would be a bargain. Wentz's contract is big in 2022, but is structured in such a way that the final two seasons offer much more flexibility. However, there's a real possibility the Colts won't get any takers and they simply choose to release him. At that point, it's just a matter of where Wentz wants to play and where the money is right. I like to think coming to a team with guys like Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, and Pat Freiermuth would be of some interest to the former North Dakota State prospect, end quote. Again, Wentz makes some sense here. Like, he actually makes some sense. And now, we'll show stats here in just a second, but just bear with me, right? There are a lot of people that want the Steelers to go out and trade for Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, right? I think all of us do. Those are the two best quarterbacks you could potentially go ahead and get. But the odds of getting Rodgers and even Wilson to me are kind of slim because it's going to cost you 3 first-round draft picks plus. You're mortgaging the entire future to go ahead and get one of these guys. There are some people that want to go ahead and draft a quarterback, and that's fine, but you have a lot of pieces that mean you could win, now, I think, but you're going with a rookie quarterback, and no one wins with a rookie quarterback, regardless of how great the rookie quarterback actually is. And so what if the idea of bringing in a veteran who has had some ups and downs, like a Garoppolo or Carson Wentz, to be the starting quarterback, and maybe they pop underneath Mike Tomlin. I think both of those guys are great options, and again, hear me out on Carson Wentz. The numbers are really good. Like, if you look at the numbers, 62% completion percentage, almost 35 or over 3,500 yards, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Right? The problem for Wentz came during an early stretch whenever he turned the ball over too much, and then that final game against the Jaguars, but in between, they were the hottest team in football, and many people consider to be the one football team you did not want to play in the postseason. Had Carson Wentz beaten the Jaguars and made it to the postseason and won a playoff game, he'd still be a Colt, but that loss has kind of resonated with a lot of Indy fans, therefore the idea of getting rid of him. Now, I'm not saying Carson Wentz is not damaged or broken. He does have plenty of flaws and a lot of skeletons in the closet going back to Philadelphia whenever he was drafted there, but I do think the idea of Wentz would not be a bad one. Him and Garoppolo are two names that I like, and I want to present that to you here as we got this news of Carson Wentz potentially being cut or traded. I bet he's eventually cut. I'd be shocked if someone trades for him, as they mentioned, right? You just wait till he's cut, and then it's wherever Wentz wants to go. And if I'm Wentz, Pittsburgh, an established franchise, established head coach, some weapons on the outside, great defense, could be worse places to go. How excited would you be if the Steelers went ahead and got Carson Wentz? Like, scale 1 to 10. How excited overall would you be? Would you be a 10, super excited? Would you be a 1, not excited at all? Let me know down below right now. Now, we, of course, will be covering plenty of other free agent news here on the channels. Make sure you guys, again, are subscribed for that. As mentioned earlier, as we try to give you the one-stop shop for all of your latest Steelers news and rumors. So go down below and hit that red subscribe button. TJ Watt, let's talk about him for a second. So if you, of course, were watching over the weekend, right before the Super Bowl, the NFL awards ceremony, TJ Watt won Defensive Player of the Year again. Not a surprise because he was absolutely fantastic this past year. However, in his acceptance speech, as we'll show you, he hinted that winning the award only motivates him. Like, winning it this time means he's not going to, settle. He's going to actually try to get more sacks than the 22.5 he had last season. So, is this news? Not really, but it's fun to show you guys what TJ Watt had to say about being even better than he was in 2021, which is insane. So, here was him at the NFL Awards saying, quote, "I've been at this award show 5 or 6 times and never came home with the hardware." I mentioned he had won it before. No, I mean, he never came home with the hardware. He hasn't won it until this time. Every time I left more motivated than the time I got here. I promise this only motivates me more. Right? So, does that mean potentially TJ Watt could have more than 22.5 sacks, actually break the single-season sack record? He's tied right now with Michael Strahan. Yeah, I mean, I think that he absolutely could. What's crazy is not only the numbers you see on your screen right now, but where he compared to the rest of the National Football League. I mean, he was above and beyond the best pass rusher, right? Number 1 in sacks. Bosa was 19.5, you're 3 sacks behind. Robert Quinn of the Bears, you forget the Bears are a good pass rusher, 18.5 sacks. And then Trey Hendrickson, you saw in the Super Bowl, with 17.5, all of which were looking up at Watt's 22.5. Now, does this mean Watt is going to, ball out of his mind in 2023? Who knows? I think he's just going to be dominant as he always is. But the idea that he's reached the top, I mean, best defensive player, sack leader, ties the record, and yet still is motivated, I think is great news for the greatness that is going to become potentially a Hall of Famer in TJ Watt. What do you think? Over under 18 sacks for Watt in 2022. Do you think he's going to have over? Type O. Think he's going to be under? Go ahead and type under. All right, quickly here, before we go and get into the new Todd McShay draft, as there are a couple of new mock drafts up here today talking about trading up to get a quarterback. Quick shout out to chatsports.com, our link for all of the different draft gear you can potentially go ahead and pick out right now. Chatsports.com/Steelers sale. There's a ton of different gear on sale right now regarding your Pittsburgh Steelers. And so the best time to buy Steeler gear is in the offseason. That way you get it on discount, as it is, and then you can wear it all offseason and then rep it, of course, when the season actually starts. The link is on your screen right now and also down below me in the description box. Chatsports.com/Steelers sale, the link that you need. Check it out right now. All right, so I want to finish today's video by talking about the NFL draft. A couple of new mock drafts have come up, and a lot of them have the Steelers trading up for a quarterback, right? So as it currently stands, Pittsburgh is right there, beginning of the 20s, sitting there at 20 in the first round, and so not necessarily in a good spot to get one of the top quarterbacks in the draft, as a lot of them are climbing up draft boards, and yet many are kind of wondering, if the Steelers could trade up, what would a trade look like, and who would they trade up with, and who would they trade up for? And as we'll see, Todd McShay has a very interesting new mock draft that has come out here, and also the NFL Network has an interesting mock draft that shows you some of the different trades that could go ahead and happen. So here is the mock draft right here, and this would be a trade with the Chargers. So if you wanted to go ahead and trade with the Chargers, you would get the Chargers 20th overall draft pick, a 3rd round pick, plus a later round draft pick, maybe, because technically they don't really have a 5th or a 6th round draft pick, so maybe a future 5th or 6th round draft pick. But if you go from 20 to 17, it's not that much to go ahead and potentially get that. A different mock draft I saw had the Steelers with the trade with the Jets, and they went all the way up to number 10, and that took next year's 1st round draft pick as well. So it varies in terms of the overall cost. Now, the player that they would get at 17 overall is Malik Willis, who has been incredible this offseason. I mean, he's having one of those offseason pre-draft rises by a rookie quarterback who at first was thought to be a 3rd round pick and now might even go inside the top 10. So he might even be there at 17. But McShay has a good quote on the Steelers taking Willis. Quote, "My top quarterback, Willis has the strongest arm in the class. He can create outside the pocket, making tough off-platform throws look easy. He's still developing and threw 12 interceptions last season, but the Steelers can build the offense around this dynamic passer," end quote. And I've said before, Malik Willis is my favorite quarterback in this draft. But again, I don't know if you draft a quarterback this year, if you trade for one, or if you sign one, right? All the different options are up there for the Steelers. But as McShay shows, there are going to be at least 4 quarterbacks taken in the 1st round, which was, again, originally thought to be 1 or 2. There will be 4. He has the Commanders, the Washington Commanders, taking Pickett at 11. The Steelers, of course, going Malik Willis at 17. Saints with Matt Corral at 18. And the Lions taking Sam Howell at number 32. I think that is the correct order in terms of where the quarterbacks will go. Pickett will go first, then Willis, then Corral, then Howell. That's how I would do it, and then Ritter would be 5 on that list. What do you guys think? At the end of today's video, would you trade it for a quarterback? Like, would you make the move like you saw with the Chargers, maybe go up to 10 where the Jets are sitting at and actually trade for a quarterback? If you would, type Y down below for yes. If you would not, then type N down below for no. All day, every day on our Pittsburgh Steelers News and Rumor video, I'm your host, Thomas Mott, out of time, signing off. Stay subscribed, stay safe for the rest of your day.